Hi, this is lecture 11 of agricultural electrification. We are now in the topic of wiring of agricultural and biosystems structures. We have previously discussed the generation, transmission, and distribution of electrical power, and we now know that the distribution ends, okay, at the service entrance uh, of an agricultural building or structure, okay, or facility. So we begin now dissecting the wiring, okay, by first tackling safety because this is fundamental information about the operations of um, of electrified or operations or electrified operations in agricultural facilities. And safety is of paramount importance because uh, an electrical uh, equipment is a hazard or yeah, it's a hazard in the workplace should it not be functioning or performing as desired. And we know that in the agricultural sector we have the lives or yeah, the lives of the people working in them at stake, plus also the animals if there are. So the primary importance here is to safely introduce wiring in an agricultural structure, building, or facility, and also operate uh, the electrical equipment using this wiring, the setup of the system inside. Now, let us begin with electrical safety before proceeding with the lecture on the types of wires and installations needed to for the requirements of electrification the in agricultural buildings and structures. Okay, uh, we have here the current topic on wiring of agricultural and biosystem structures. We are now supposed to be establishing ourselves in with the electrical equipment. So that is a given. We should know what are the equipment in the farm. Okay, that is already a given. And we have to acknowledge the Philippine Electrical Code, which is as publicly known or publicly accepted safety standard in the uh, electrification of facilities, including agricultural uh, field, in the agricultural field. Now, electrical installations need to be inspected and approved by authorities. Why? Because they are to regulate the use, because this is something that is again hazardous to people and other living uh, organisms. Okay, and if you could see on the screen, that is a typical uh, sign, okay, or a signage of danger of electrification or electrocution. And there are others. You have the main switch, okay, similar labels but different uh, wording. So you have danger live wires, danger buried cables for underground cabling, and so also we have danger overhead cables for those that are hanging or overhang. We have danger 440 volts, okay, and the typical electrical hazard. Now, for the code, yes, we have the PEC, okay, but also with regards the uh, working environment, because we know that agricultural facilities and farms would have to be employing people in the operations or in its operations. So we have okay, the standards of occupational safety and health from the Department of Labor and Employment, and it covers everything about um, electrification, but that it excludes power generating plants and installations relating to broadcasting, because that is um, for the electronics and communication engineering. And also third is the electrical conveyances relating to water transportation. So those are the fast crafts and ships and boats. So typically, we have this definition from the book on the occupational safety and health standards. You could see the reference later for its complete title and bibliography for reference. Okay, we have the definition number one, to stating that the installation as used in these rules shall mean assemblage of electrical equipment in a given location, designed for coordinated operation, properly erected and wired, and approved shall mean acceptance to the Bureau after test and examination show compliance with the standards. When it is referring to the standards as still stated in the PEC. Again, the PEC is the official and the only standard used for electrification, even in the agricultural sector. We may have to wait for the Philippine national standards of the agricultural and biosystems engineering, or but usually called the PAES, okay, or now probably the PABES. We'll have to wait for that if indeed we have to, well, relate to agricultural use of, or applications of agricultural electrification. Now, here are electrical safety guidelines. Okay, so we need to have the plans approved, okay, of a building. Usually, a building will have a seven document or seven worksheet, okay, application, because, well, the electrification would have to be just a part of a structural or a building in use, or for permitted to you for use. Okay, so electrical connections need an inspection and certification of authorities, and this will have to begin with the feeder lines and the service drop from the utility company pole, okay, to the building or structure. So that is the coverage of this wiring program or electrification program, okay, wiring electrification. Here are now some general safety tips on agricultural and biosystems electrification. And this is very generic, but will have to be very handy when you are dealing with the electrification of a structural build of an ABE structure or building. First is you avoid water at all times when working with electricity, because water is a very good conductor. You never touch or attempt to repair any electrical equipment or circuits with wet hands. Okay, keep your hands dry. Number two is never to use electrical equipment with broken plugs, frayed cords, okay, or damaged insulation. Please check first the equipment if these items, okay, plugs, cords, and insulation are working properly or in good condition. Number three is to check the building electrical plan before working on any circuit. So these are now referring to the branch circuits of a structure or a building. Number four is turn off the mains when working with any kind of electrical receptacle. Okay, number four is to always use insulated tools and appropriate insulated rubber gloves and goggles while working on any electrical circuit. Okay. Next is Okay, so we know that electrical hazards include exposed energized parts and unguarded electrical equipment, which may become energized unexpectedly. So such equipment should always carry warning signs such as shock risk, okay? Shock risk, okay? So you never attempt to repair energized equipment, and always check that the equipment is disconnected, is adequately grounded, okay, and without stray voltage. Many people die of stray voltage, and later we'll get to know what this stray voltage is, okay? Avoid, number 6, okay, avoid metallic surfaces in installations when working with equipment. When okay, so you have, you can always check if something is energized or de-energized by using a tester. I can give a sample of that. Let me just get the uh, tester. Okay, I think you already heard that. Anyway, just to show you how it determines the energization. Okay, so you have here a wire. It's actually just a wire from connected to the computer. Okay, so you have a wire here. Okay, I think you're not seeing it. So this wire. So you just, this is the that tester. Okay, this is the tester that I'm referring to. And when you, okay, so it detects the current in the wire, and it sounds and lights up. Okay, see? All right. Now that is a point tester. Okay, it shows, okay, that there is current, and it's thus showing that there is electrical um, uh, current flowing or electricity flowing through the wire. Okay, so you can also use this to check metallic surfaces if they are indeed grounded. Okay, this is a very handy tool. Now, okay, you never use, okay, an aluminum or steel ladder if you are working on any receptacle or at a height, okay, in your home. Okay, this may be a um, a hazard as well. Okay, you can use bamboo or other. Wait, where am I? So sorry. I think we returned to number 4. So it should be number 5. Okay, you can use bamboo, okay, or wooden or fiberglass ladders instead. So that would help out in limiting or the error or the hazard. Actually, there are other tips here. For example, you should know the wire code of your location, okay, the Philippines, and also to use what you call um, ground fault circuit interrupters. But this is not that detailed for us. But yeah, it's already written there. Okay, so you should regularly check the ground fault circuit interrupter or any other residual current device installed in the building. That would ensure that there is at least a, a device or a safety device installed in your location. So at least prevents cases of um, well, overcharging or over powering of devices, which could lead to burning and probably fires. Could start out fires. Okay, so that would be all for the safety. We'll proceed to the next lecture, still on safety. Okay, before we proceed with the wiring. I will see you then.